Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going through the SuperCoach round review for round 5, in which I scored a 21-33, which was a pretty bad round in the general scheme of things. A 45,875 round rank, and now I am bumped down about 2,000 ranks to 23,779. And yeah, that puts me in a pretty bad position, about 800 points off the leader or so. So definitely having a better fantasy year than SuperCoach, which was surprising about a week ago, but it is what it is. Just a bad trade out this week has really cost me a little bit. And so anyway, I'm just going to search him up straight away just to see what is his break even against Sydney. He's going to cop a tag against Sydney, especially they might, it depends how they pull James Jordan, but he could not cop a tag against James Jordan, but James Jordan has gone to distributors before, and maybe it will open up some more midfield time if they do go to Connor Rozee and sort of just shut him down. So that'll be interesting now that he's off halfback. If he was in the midfield, you put the tag to Zach Butters, but now that he's at halfback, it'll be interesting to see, because that could they could trust their midfielders in Caden Cleary, Sheldrick, and other guys like that to run through there, especially now that Justin McInerney is back from suspension as well. He can run through the midfield, opening it up for James Jordan to potentially tag Connor Rozee. So kind of hoping that he does, and Connor Rozee can just butcher the ball for fantasy purposes, and SuperCoach, he can score like a 50 or something like that. But anyway, Lachie Whitfield brought him in. This is a long run play. Is 125 break even or whatever, and has some pretty good matchups in the next couple. Then faces Sydney, who he's been up and down against, averaging 160, 265 in the last 3. So that's about 88, 89, which is about what he scored anyway. So on the week. So if you told me, yep, you're going to trade into a guy averaging 124. You'd still take that. So it just was a bad weekend for him. He just never really got going, and was, I think, tagged in the long run, which tags are just going left, right, and center around. So when you get an 86, it's not the end of the world, I would say, in terms of that, and just generalized. An 86 through a tag is actually an all right display. I know Nick Dacos went 130 through a tag, but in the long run, 80s are not the worst, because we've seen Lachie Neale and other guys like Sarong. Sarong went, I think, 100 through a tag anyway, but we've seen him go 80 through tags and stuff like that. And Jordan Dawson went 60 this week, so it wasn't the worst of the week. Zorko, an 82 from him, wasn't the greatest display from him. He was also around that 125 marker or something for average, and then just dipped crazily. 126 for the year, 136, and then he's gone 94-82. I think when I brought him in for the Geelong matchup. So yeah, he's gone 94-82 the last couple of weeks, has a monster break even, and you guys are going to get both of Whitfield and Zorko for cheap when I paid up near enough around the I paid up 600k for both of them. Sheasel, he's back to his best, actually. If you look at the games in the long run, he'll be fine. He'll still be near enough that 100 marker. He's averaged 104.4 across the year. As we start to see the deflated scores from the defenders come out, you'll start to see that average will hold up a little bit more. You see he's already into top 10. Dan Houston has an effective average of like 90 or something like that anyway, so he's there. You've got Bailey Dale averaging 105, but he is slowing down dramatically, so I expect him to be overtaken. Jordan Clark is averaging 107. So yeah, I expect him to jump already, probably in and enough that around that 6th marker, 7th marker anyway. Lachie Ash just had a huge game. If you take out that huge game, he's got 427 in 4 games, which is an average of 106 or so. So that puts him probably here rather than up in that 112 marker. So he's probably going to fall down to anyway there as well. But you see, he's only burning 8 points a week to top 6 anyway. And you want sort of top 8 material for defenders anyway, and he is near enough around that market. And Matt Roberts, even though he's had a couple of down weeks, is still 13th, so not too worried about there. Riley Bice is having an effective average of 103 when he's not sub, which is right behind Sheasel, and he's going to close up dramatically, you would expect. So you can see that there. So that is that. Zach Reed, he did amazing with the 104, and I somehow still made the right decisions with the defenders this week. Didn't burn any rookie. I don't think I burnt any points in terms of rookie roulette, which is kind of disappointing now that you think about it in terms of my side, that I didn't burn any points and still failed pretty badly. Now that I have DPP, with Stone and guys like that, it will make it a little bit easier to get that potential third defender onto with Henderson and stuff like that. I can maneuver them around to get the third defender into at least the flex position, which will mean that Hall and Moraes don't have to play, which will be a lot better, as well as having one of them will probably be near enough traded out at that point, given that they're getting close to it, but or close to the top out price. But yeah, just really happy at the moment with the way that this team is sort of trending. Yes, we're having down scores from players and losing points to other people, but a lot of people got lucky with Power Pepper if you actually look at it. And so, yeah, a lot of people got held up by the, or I guess profited from the Port Adelaide game. So, yeah, I'm not too disappointed in all of this, even though I did lose rank. So it is what it is there. The defender line, completely happy with. Midfield, especially when you think of it, that Sinclair is doing a job in the defender line basically until I trade out Roberts. Once I trade out Roberts, he will go back there, as Roberts will probably go to a premium midfielder sometime soon. And then you've got, Merritt, Sarong, Dawson. Sarong, I mean, if I had captaincy'd better and done a Gorn captain, I go and score another 42 points. And 42 points there is, what's that, 275 or so? And that would have put me probably gaining rank in terms of just thinking about it right now. As I lost 1,900 ranks. If I had, scored the extra 40, I'd probably gain rank, but that was a really poor captaincy from Sarong. He just butchered the ball early, had a couple free kicks, etc., and never could really get going. If he had the efficiency of Brayshaw, or even just, the Brayshaw captaincy really just did suck. He just ran away with it and scored an extra 50 points, which if I traded him in over Lockie Whitfield and captained him over Sarong, that would have been an extra, 40 points for the captaincy and an extra 70 points for the trade-in. So that would have been 110 points. So that would have put me 240. And that would have just, blown this out of the water here. And that would have been a massive rank rise there. So just one decision that didn't help. But it was kind of reactive to the likes of, who was it? Nick Dacos going 130 that I needed to do a little bit of a restructuring in terms of who I brought in with the defender, bringing in the premium defender over the midfielder because I wanted to grab up the likes of Nick Dacos this week. So, Dawson, that just sucked. He just had a stinker and he was kind of, that was just poor. Oliver, 86, he couldn't get it together. He's still doing all right. He's not doing outstanding, but against Freo this week, he should do all right. Then you've got Levi Ashcroft, 90. Xavier Lindsay in the long run should be fine. I just didn't have the big rookies, it felt like. If I just go to players here and go filters and then go by sort of 300k or so less, there we go, and then go by round 5 points. Didn't have Ned Long, not many have him. Didn't have Pal Pepper, Hipwood, no one has. Ware, no one has that. Then who's the next guy? Luke Trainer, I have anyway. The next big guy, is there a way to sort of ownership? Let's just go by like that, because that'll chunk out a lot of teams. But Noah Long was held by a couple. Pal Pepper held by quite a few. Tom Gross I didn't have, but no one really had him. Luke Trainer, Hanley some people had. O'Sullivan I didn't have, but 69 not that damaging to be honest in the long run. Is there anyone did I just miss? But let's just go in terms of price point anyway. Do that as I've somehow swapped them around. There we go. But you can just see Andy Brayshaw, Max Holmes, and guys like that I didn't have, as well as Connor Rozee. I traded him out for a 137. So if I hadn't traded out Connor Rozee, let's actually do the calculations, even though I don't want to do them. As it would have still made, I would have had like 40k less, 70k less to do to have. But let's just check Rozee what his price point is. He went down still 12k. So I would have still had enough Anyway, but yeah, if I hadn't traded out Rosie over Roberts, I would have 137 minus 79, which is 58 more points. If I then traded in Brayshaw over Whitfield, I would have had, I think Brayshaw went 155, I want to say. What did Brayshaw do? I don't want to do this calculation, but it's kind of should do it. Plus 155 minus 86 is 127 points. Then I captained, if I had captained Brayshaw over Sarong, I would have gained another 52 points. So if I had made the right trades, I could have scored a 2300, which would have been absolutely huge. But of course I didn't, because yeah, that's me this year. And if I'd scored a 2300, you would have, yeah, that would have been a crazy score anyway. And that would have been the utmost perfect moves scoring. What would it have been in the end? It would have been in the end a 23-12 if I had made the perfect moves, but it is what it is. Ashcroft, Lindsay, Moraes, we talked about. Silas should be back this week, which should help. You would expect him to be back. Henderson could be a long run hold. I know he's got a 50 break even, but if he does play, you'd expect a better than a 13. He just looked shocking on the weekend. Just couldn't get near it, but hopefully if he does play, if he pumps out a 50 and then a 50 again, his caption's back. So I'm not, he could be a long-term hold just because of, I'm not going to make much out of a 50. I'm not going to make much out of a trade for 50k or so for Henderson. So I might as well hold him at the moment there. Camporelli, Boyd, Stone, and then Hewitt there as well. I know people will be talking about the cash generation, etc. But at the moment, I'm looking at potentially grabbing two guys rather than one. So yeah, there's not much point in downgrading Henderson at the moment. Stone and then Hewitt and then Hall on the bench. That's the sort of bench and utility. And then, the flex. And then Horne-Francis, 119. He's doing really well. McRae, 70. Coming back down to earth. Bailey Smith, a 126. So him and McRae are really fronting that forward line. Then you have Caleb Daniel as well, a 116. I just want to check what is Rankin's effective average, because it feels like he's killing it, but it doesn't feel like he's killing it at the same time. 103. So he's near enough the same price point that he was priced at. Maybe 5 or 6 higher, but not too much. Davidson probably needs to go soon, as his break even I think is 60 or so. And then Hall around 25 break even, but that break even starts to climb. I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves me right, that he's not going to, he makes a little bit of cash with 60s, but he gets to 280k, which, yeah, if he can be used to make a massive upgrade, then that's probably better, and just have the 10, 15 points less on field or something like that, or through you can get it through like a Stardust or a Moraes is going to run close with what Max Hall would score anyway. So you get the extra cash from Max Hall, but you get near enough the same points, you would think. But yeah, that pretty much is the video. A down week for SuperCoach, but I think my team is set up for the long run with a lot of premiums that are going to do pretty well. I just missed out on all the mid prices this year and traded one at the wrong time. So yeah, that is what it is. If you guys did enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. If you are listening on Spotify, give me a follow and a rating over there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.